And his view, sort of the same, was that you have to, it's a crucial part of democracy, he said, is the manufacture of consent. The population he referred to as the bewildered herd. And he said we have to save ourselves from the rage and trampling of the bewildered herd. And since unfortunately you can't do it by force, you have to do it by other means. The other means would be the manufacture of consent. The United States, the public relations industry in the United States, which goes back to the early part of the century, is dedicated to that. That's a pure business operation, and they're dedicated to it. Everything from, advertising to other mechanisms of influence, and which they openly call, in their more honest days, they openly call propaganda. And the same is true of much of the intellectual class. The more sophisticated people recognize that their job is thought control, and they argue that it's the right thing, because the bewildered herd will only get into trouble if you let them rage on by themselves.
For thought control, don't you need, though, to have a complete control over a system, no outside information coming in at all?
No, not really. In fact, that's the mistake that dictators usually make. Dictators are usually much too crude. They have a ministry of truth which blocks any wrong information. Actually, even in dictatorships, there's usually quite a lot of give, but they have the capacity, at least, to control everything. Our systems don't work like that at all. In fact, they're probably much more effective because they don't work like that. They have roughly the same effect, but they convey a sense of freedom. And the sense of freedom is real, like we can do what we're doing. You can have a program in Salem which will, say, tell the truth about Panama. Meanwhile, the 3 TV channels will be telling corporate government lies about Panama, but you're allowed to compete. That's what's called a free market. Like if you and I could sit down and decide to open a car manufacturing plant, and nobody would stop us from competing with General Motors. Okay, we want to do it, that's fine. Police aren't going to stop us. That's a free society. The effect will be exactly as if the police came in and stopped us. Now, it's roughly the same in this case,